isn't servant leadership. It's not any kind of leadership. It's small, it's weak, and it's petty. It takes the awesome power of the federal government and turns it into a crude weapon, wielded by a man who wants to be king.
Donald Trump left speechless after Tim Walz exposes major truth bomb on live TV. It's a rare spectacle to see Donald Trump, a man who once tweeted a hurricane because he didn't like the forecast, struck completely silent. But that's exactly what happened when Minnesota Governor Tim Walz calmly dismantled the Trump mythology on live television, armed not with insults or theatrics but with cold, devastating facts. Buckle up. This isn't just a political moment, it's a full-blown case study in what happens when reality crashes into a circus. Picture it. Trump struts into Minnesota, brimming with confidence. He's ready to declare the state the next MAGA stronghold, promising jobs, riches, and America First glory. Behind him trails J.D. Vance, the once critic turned loyalist, looking every bit like a man who misplaced his spine sometime between Silicon Valley and the Capitol steps. Trump's plan was familiar. Boast about an economy he built, sling insults, bask in roaring applause, and pretend that governance is just a reality show with better lighting. But this time, something different was waiting. Walz didn't yell, he didn't mock, he didn't even raise his voice. Instead, he methodically exposed the glittering fiction that Trump had been selling for years. Minnesota created jobs, balanced its budget, and invested heavily in education and renewable energy, all while the Trump administration spiraled into chaos. Civil unrest was managed without resorting to the dystopian tactics Trump often praised, like throwing university students into unmarked vans. Public health policies succeeded, ensuring kids had full bellies at school and women had control over their healthcare decisions, real quality-of-life improvements that MAGA rallies never delivered. Walz pointed to hard numbers. Minnesota ranked in the top 5 for business, the top 3 for happiness, and led in educational outcomes, even as Trump's administration threatened to dismantle the public education system in favor of private schools that don't even exist in much of rural America. It was like watching a seasoned math teacher correct a cocky class clown with nothing more than a chalkboard and a few equations. And for once, Trump had no comeback. After Walz finished, the camera captured what can only be described as a rare political eclipse. Trump blinking, mouth slightly open, scrambling mentally to reboot his talking points. For a man whose entire political brand is based on dominance, ridicule, and unrelenting noise, silence was catastrophic. Trump, who once minimized traumatic brain injuries among U.S. soldiers by dismissing them as headaches, suddenly found himself with no quip, no nickname, no comeback. His notorious reflexes, the ability to turn even disasters into punchlines, simply failed him. It wasn't NATO. It wasn't a UN sanctions hearing. It wasn't a subpoena spelled correctly. It was just a calm, fact-driven governor with a binder full of policies, and a truth bomb aimed squarely at the heart of Trump's mythology. Of course, Trump didn't stay silent for long. Once the press conference ended, he fled the scene like someone had yelled accountability in a crowded room. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance attempted a chaotic salvage operation, stepping up to Newsmax microphones to blame fentanyl, the border, and leftist governors for the day's disaster. But the damage was done. Even MAGA media struggled. Right-wing networks accused Walz of being elitist, a desperate jab that only emphasized the contrast. One side had spreadsheets, the other had slogans. Fox News tried spinning Walz's steady dismantling as disrespectful, forgetting that Trump once referred to entire nations with language unsuitable for pirate movies. Social media, for its part, exploded with memes depicting Trump as a mime, and J.D. Vance as a confused backup dancer left flailing on stage. Tim Walz's truth bomb didn't just embarrass Trump, it exposed the emptiness at the core of the entire MAGA movement. The Trump-Vance strategy hinges on 3 things: loud claims, no follow-through, and allergic reaction to actual facts. When someone like Walz shows up, armed with receipts and a steady tone, the house of cards collapses in real time. No backup dancers, no fog machines, just stark, undeniable truth. This matters because it shows what happens when governance returns to basics. Good people elected by their neighbors, working together in good faith, delivering real results. Not midnight tweets that tank the stock market. Not trade wars waged with the strategic depth of a toddler knocking over toy blocks, not chaos masquerading as leadership. At the end of the day, Tim Walz didn't just defeat Trump in a debate, he defeated the very idea that showmanship is a substitute for leadership. He reminded America, and Trump's loyal base, that governing isn't a performance, it's a job. And if a mild-mannered Midwestern governor can shatter the illusion with nothing more than facts and calm persistence, it leaves a critical question hanging in the air for 2024 and beyond. What happens when the circus packs up and America demands real leadership again? Maybe, just maybe, it starts with a quiet man with a binder, calmly telling the emperor he has no clothes.